going on, Gem? So in today's video, by major big request, we are going to talk about your girl being a flight attendant. So this is kind of a get ready with me slash showing you guys certain things that, you know, comes with being a flight attendant in terms of the uniform, the shoes, the suitcases, the bags, the nylons, y'all. I'm going to let you guys know a little bit about the flight attendant life, and make sure you guys like it, thumbs up if you guys like the video. Let me know what you guys think, okay? Also, before we get into the video, I just want to thank you guys. And I've been MIA severely. I'm back and I'm here, guys. We just want to thank you guys so much for still supporting and still rocking with me nonetheless. Okay, let's just get into the video, okay, y'all? Alright, Gem, so basically I'm just kind of going to show you guys how I kind of do my everyday makeup look for work when I am flying. So I like to just kind of keep it minimal, but like classic, sleek, very easy, because a lot of times when I'm working in the morning or in the afternoon, your girl's gotta go. So basically I'm not doing it in my usual space, which is the bathroom, so kind of have everything out here. So as I kind of talk through with you guys, I'm just gonna talk to you guys about the flight attendant stuff and my whole bit about that, and I'm just gonna do my makeup. I'm not gonna be using the exact same things I use each time, just because your girl ain't going nowhere actually. So we're gonna use the more half drugstore, half name brand, I guess, or half high-end slash Sephora. And yes, Grayson's in the background watching his TV, playing with his toys. So right now this is just no makeup, just lotion, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of primer, and I got some Vaseline on. A lot of you guys been wondering when I started flying, and it's been about 5 years. I actually just got my 5-star pin like recently. So I actually just turned 5 years a couple weeks ago actually, so I can show you guys that one afterwards. But it was really exciting, and you know, when I applied, it was just, I guess, at a moment in my life I was kind of in between jobs, and you know, a lot of people had been telling me, like, you know, to travel more, you know, just to kind of take the time out and like to do stuff or whatever. So basically I was not the type to really make time. I was like consistently always working, and then one day I saw the position. I said, you know what, let me just go for it and try it and test my luck and see what would happen. And lo and behold, your girl got it. It was definitely an intense procedure. I had like a phone interview and like a French part, because I told them I speak French, so I didn't have to do like the whole pre-qualification, I guess I had to do. So I had that, and I had in-person interviews, which was like a day long. Then it was like the trying on. It was like in stages. If you passed each stage, then you were making it further ahead. So that was like a long, crazy, hectic day. And then what else? There was like a month-long training in Montreal, which is basically like a province away from Toronto for those who are not Canadian. So yeah, so that was very intense, and just kind of being away and like studying. And even before that training, I had like online module testings to do that actually took like hours. Like that was like a couple weeks, like actually. So yeah, so I definitely love being a flight attendant. You know, at the beginning it was not difficult, but definitely like out of my comfort zone, in the sense of like something that I was familiar with, and just kind of being in that atmosphere and industry. And of course, when you start out new, like almost everyone can almost tell that you're new. Maybe not all the passengers, but just those who you work with or whichever. But it was definitely like, it's definitely different. I can definitely say, even from when I started up until now, and now being like a mom and like, you know, a fiance, and having that whole mommy home life, like it's definitely different, because now it's like my priorities are different. And even like the flights that I choose, like even right now, just since I've been back, I try not to choose, or not really choose, I don't really have a choice on where I get to go. But in terms of like bidding online, I try not to get any away flights for right now. I'm just kind of doing turns, which are basically turnaround flights that come back the same day. It could be early mornings, or it could be later ones from back by anywhere between 10 and midnight. So that's still considered the same day. So for now, I'm just doing those, and maybe in a couple months I'll feel more comfortable doing like maybe like a 24-hour one where I'm gone for 24 hours, and nothing like, man, those week-long ones, like the 6-7 day pairings, which is what they're called. like, because you're not just going to one spot, you're going to like 3 places, could be like 3 different times, which is really cool. But those ones, yeah, like you do actually get more money like per diem, basically. That's what it's called. But it's kind of like basically like an allowance, but also like the extra cost just for basically having you away from your home base. So those, like, you tend to make more money, which is good obviously for your girl. But in this position for now, I'm just going to do the turnarounds, which you're basically just kind of doing your set basic pay. Every airline's different in terms of how they have, you know, how their base pay starts and kind of goes from there. So I can only speak for myself. And yes, I know a lot of you guys are wondering what company do I work with, but just for confidentiality purposes and all that good stuff, I'm not trying to get in trouble or whatever, so I'm not going to say the place that I do work for just because, but I mean, hey, if you guys see me in the airport or on the flight, say what up to your girl though. It's happened a couple times, but basically for my my airline, we do international and domestic. So we don't do much like US flights, like we go to Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Florida. But in terms of like New York and all that, we don't. But as a flight attendant, we have privileges to fly with other airlines and go with them. So yeah, we basically go to like Europe. So basically Spain, Paris, Germany, England. We go down south, so like Cuba, Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Of course, we go throughout Canada. Duh. That's pretty much the gist on that one. But I can definitely say now, since being back to work and, you know, having Grayson around, I can definitely, you know, appreciate, you know, coming home and just like, you know, even just something as simple as like being away from him and like Kevin and stuff like that. Like I know I'm with them basically 24/7, but I mean, you know, when you get off that flight and you're like mad tired, like it's definitely like a nice feeling to come home to. Whereas before, even before, like, yeah, I was always excited to come back home even beforehand. But now it's like a whole other like respect, I guess you can say, for coming home and, you know, having that feel. Gotta stop saying you know. I know.
I know she won't be good for me, but I don't care, 'cause I know it's so rare.
So I don't know if any of you guys are supporters from way back in the day when your girl was starting out, but I did used to vlog a lot of the times when I was away, like on flights, especially if I was like somewhere cool, or like, you know, if I was like going out to eat or like walking in the city. So if you guys have or have not ever watched those, be sure to go back and scroll all the way back and check it out. Only because, like I mentioned before, I won't be really doing any of those right this minute, maybe later on the summer. But for right now, you know, I think it'd be cool just to, if you guys would like to go back on them. I mean, I would love to show you guys like a day in the life of, even if it's just like a turnaround flight, but I think it might be difficult in my position because A, they'll be like, why am I recording, or like, what am I doing, just like walking to the airport, and I don't have someone to like, to basically follow me around like that. But it would be interesting. And I mean, like, if you guys follow me on IG or Snapchat, a couple times like I would show like maybe the outside or just, you know, the clouds and stuff like that. But those turnaround flights, like, it's a long day, but they go pretty fast. You know, we get there, get all the passengers on, off. We had like an hour there, and then we're out. Now I gotta pause and stop what I'm doing because your boy is wilding out, of course. I guess I'll just wipe this away now. Normally I would have let that set for a little bit and started my eye makeup, but for today purposes and Grayson's sake, we're gonna dust it now. Alright, so he is somewhat, well, no, he's sleeping, let's be honest. Alright, so I didn't actually use the finishing, I guess, highlighting powder I normally like to use, which is the Laura Mercier. I was just using another one from my Kat Von D palette, which is alright, but I still find like the bags still kind of come through. Maybe just because I'm overtired. Anywho, but, you know, let me know, comment below if you guys would like me to do a video on like a crazy passenger story, just a crazy flight story, period. But knock on wood, luckily I haven't had any issues where there's been any kind of like flight scares. I mean, I've been delayed once, like for a very long time, but that was about it. And I forget where we were. I think we were down south. But yeah, I've actually like lucked out. And you know, believe it or not, for someone like me, I've actually had to deal with air sickness like myself. Like I've been really sick one time, and for the longest time I could not figure out why on every night flight basically I'd always get this like nauseating feeling around the same time ish, and I'd always feel like so sick to my stomach, like I'm gonna puke or I just can't even function or I'm gonna pass out. And it was like I was getting hot flashes, like hot and cold. And then I finally realized that it's because it's an overnight flight and it's a long flight, let's say like to England or whatever, and it's over 8 hours. Like anytime after midnight, it's like my body is just like it's shutting down, especially if I was already up from earlier. And back then I was like working like my 2 jobs, so I would have worked in the morning and then had the night flight in the night. So it's like I've been up for almost like 24 hours. So it's like my body would just kind of shut down. And you know, even though yes, I would try to like eat properly and eat stable and have like a good meal, sometimes it just wasn't enough, or it's like my stomach couldn't even handle even trying to eat anything. So that would kind of take place, and then I finally realized that it was either like lack of sleep or just how I guess my eating habit was. And then I started using like these little, like they look like wristband patches, and I would wear them on my wrist, and it would kind of help with air sickness. And it's supposed to help with air sickness, like just travel nauseas, I guess you could say. Like it's good for air, sea, and all that. So I started using them, and it was like a lifesaver because I would put them on immediately. Like it would always happen when we're serving like dinner service, because on our flight like we do like actual meals, so we have like a lot of services. It's not just regular coffee, tea on our flights. Like our flight, we do like snacks, coffee, tea, like juice, soda, like we do the whole works. And we have like major carts, and then we have duty frees, so we do that on board. And for long flights, like we'd have that, and then we'd have like either it's like a breakfast or, and that started to actually help me out. But beforehand, before I had that, there's been times just like I was so sick that I almost like passed out in the bathroom, or I would have to stop like my services and get someone to kind of help take over, speak to my flight director, because I couldn't function, and I get dizzy and like really overwhelmed with everything. So I'd have to like sit down basically, which is the worst because it's embarrassing. Like you don't want it to happen, or think like you can't carry your weight at the same time. But yes, with that said, with the whole sickness bit, I used to always get like some kind of like anxiety, because I'm always like anticipating how I'm gonna feel, how the flight's gonna go. But it's weird because it would last up until a certain point of the night, because like because it's an overnight flight, we get like a 30-ish like minute break where we can actually sit down, opposed to like not doing any work. So on those breaks, like we are allowed to kind of close our eyes, not full on like pass out like drawing nor sleep, but we are able to close our eyes in a discreet area and manner and form. So on those breaks I wouldn't even eat because I don't have the appetite to, so I would actually just close my eyes and like try to get a little bit of rest, just to kind of help my body. And when I would get up from those little naps, like it actually felt better, and I felt like a bit better. And then I would have some tea, and then I would eat a bit, and then by the time it's morning wherever we are, I would feel like 10 times better. Not in the sense I'm like, okay, I want to take on the town, but enough to like get through the rest of the flight, get off, and then get to a room. And then trust me, the minute we get to a room, your girl showers and is pieced out for a bit, especially with the time zone change, depending where we are. That's like a must. And then normally we would meet, sometimes if some of the flight attendants like want to get together, meet up, have dinner, or if they want to go like walking, shopping around. There's like so many things to say do. You need to do it solo. Obviously it's not recommended, especially in like foreign places, because you don't want anything bad to happen to you. But you can obviously go as a pair or in groups. So I feel like everyone is their own person, and like sorry, this is not the way I do my eyeliner ever. Like I'm way closer to the mirror and I'm not holding something. But anyways, yeah, like everyone's their own person. So like you kind of feel everyone out during the flight of who you kind of click with and like who you'd want to kind of hang out with. And if you already know some of the flight attendants who you're working with, then okay, you already know that you guys are gonna basically chill together or have the night to like want to hang out or whatever the case. But sometimes some of them, the more mature ones, they kind of just like to go do like the grocery and basically chill in their room and stay on their laptop or call their families or just watch movies. Me, I was like kind of in between. I basically would fill it out who I was flying with, because you don't always fly with the same people. Sometimes you may have never met the person in all the years you've been flying. So sometimes I kind of feel it out and see if I kind of vibe with them or not. And then if you want to hang out with them, like, you don't have to be best friends, but it's just someone to kind of keep you company, really. So yeah, I've had that, and I've had experience where everyone just kind of does their own thing and no one wants to hang out. And like, yeah, you're all good on the flight, you work together as a team. And then after that, everyone's just kind of on their own. So I've been times where I would just order food, I would go walk by myself and then like bring it back to the room, or I would sit somewhere and eat. It just depends. Like in this one area of London, like I've been there a couple of times, and before I would meet up with my family, because I didn't really do that because I didn't really have the time, or I didn't think they were close enough. But I would always just kind of like go to the same spot, walk around, and always get food there. So it's like I'm comfortable and I'm not too far away where I feel like I'm in danger. It's not for everyone, because you just never know sometimes. And there's stories of even like two flight attendants being somewhere together and something could happen. You just never know. It can be really scary and freaky sometimes. This is the basic base with before doing the lips. You can, well, sometimes I would just leave it with just this eyeliner only and the bronzer I put on, and just kind of give it that natural look. But sometimes, depending on how I feel or how long the day is going to be, I might just put a little bit of eyeshadow on like I will do now. So keep it very subtle and kind of just mix these two colors in together. Oh no, I messed it up. Some of you guys have asked me if I went to school for flight attendant or the whole hospitality, aviation hospitality thingy, whatever it's called. Clearly I don't know, so clearly I have not gone. So you don't have to, but I do know some people who have, and it's fine. I mean, it just really depends. If like you want to study for it and that's what you want to do, then you can. But for me, I didn't have to study. And you know, for the company that I'm with, because it's Canadian based, we do have to know how to speak French. But if you don't, then obviously they allow you just to kind of learn the basics, which you kind of get tested on every year, just to kind of brush up just on what you do know in order to kind of get through a day-to-day on a flight. But it's not every time. Like even for myself, like I barely use French sometimes. It just depends where you're going or the passengers, but it's part of our regulation to know French, and like our announcements are done in French as well and English. So for me, the French that I have, being born in Montreal already, it was enough to kind of get me past. So I don't have to do the retesting every year, thank the Lord. That would be another pressure and stress. So I luckily don't have to do that. But there are some who do. And then if you know any of the language, you can be language qualified, whether it's Spanish, Portuguese, or whatever the case, then that's always good to have under your belt. But it's not mandatory. So I mean, there are some people who have to do the French testing like every year, but even when you're on the flight, like they don't know that much, you know what I mean? So they're not like, if they're sticklers, but not really. I mean, you can't help it if you don't know it, right? It's just basically what I would do, and put a little eyeliner maybe on the bottom to kind of bring it through. I don't like to cake it on because obviously the air quality isn't the best up there, so I don't want my face to be all cakey and like look all dry and whatnot, especially on the long flights. But even still, like I wouldn't really change like my regime too much. So anywho, normally I would just do a new lip because I'm not able to like touch up my lips like every 2 minutes or be looking in the mirror. I try to wear something that I know will kind of last long and is easy to touch up without having a mirror. So for me, that's like a nude lip. Of course, you can do the bright red lip, and I've done that a couple of times, but I like to stick to my nude. So I'll probably just use something here from the NYX, or one of this, or like a MAC lipstick, and make sure I have like my lip liner. But for the sake of just having fun in this video, I'm gonna just try out this light purple that I've had for a mean minute. Hopefully it still works good. It's from that Nicki Minaj like back in the day collection. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of lip liner on. So that did all of nothing. But I'm gonna just add a little color to my lips. Sometimes, yeah, like you do get homesick and stuff like that when you're away from the ones you love or your friends, and like you said, you can't really pick your own schedule. Sure, you get vacation times, you can try to move it, but it's not a guarantee just because of how the system works, and everything is also like seniority based. So I mean, you really gotta work your way up, and I'm still working my way, and I've only been coming for 5 years. So those who have been in it 15 years, 20 years deep, like they got a pretty good schedule. So with that, like, you just kind of have to be prepared sometimes, like, to miss out on things, like especially in the summertime when there's barbecues, birthdays, stuff you want to go to. Your schedule may or may not allow it. You can try to switch, but it's like such a process to switch. All right, y'all, time to go through the uniform, and I just realized, excuse my little slinky PJs, but when I get ready, yes, I'm still in my pajamas half the time, or I'm just in, like, you know, wrong panties, just because I hate being restricted and just don't want to have to like be careful of like getting something on my clothes. So number one thing for a flight attendant, you have to have nylons on deck. It is no joke. One wrong move or one little slip on the nip of something, and there goes a run in your nylons. So the key thing is to have tons, even brand new ones that you hand wash, keep, whatever. I always have 2 pairs in like my carry-on like luggage that we take with us. I always have 2 just in case, you never know. So I always have like a fresh pair, and then even one that's just like folded up, and I either have like a nude or black or like a gray color, depending, of course, who you work with, if you are even allowed doing those things. But ladies, make sure with the nude that you find your shade. For those who are, you know, your brown skin girls, make sure you find the right shade, because you do not want to have one that's making your legs look ashy or like white. And you don't want to have one that makes you look too brown and just doesn't match the rest of your body. So typically I like to wear the black ones just because it's just more comfortable, in the sense of like, it's kind of more uniform looking to me. And I like to wear these ones, the stay ups. I got these at Primark in the UK, so shout out to them. They're so sick because they're like good price and like the quality. But I like these ones because especially on the long flights, I don't know, like being in nylons in a uniform all damn day, it's like kind of restricting and uncomfortable. But these ones are so good, especially when you have to go to the bathroom, because they just won't move. And they have a nice like elastic on the inside. It has like a really good elastic here, so I definitely love that. And if you're not a flight attendant and you just wear nylons like with your outfits, with clothing, day to day, those are nice because they don't have that restricting like on like your stomach. And yeah, sometimes the whole control fit is nice, but sometimes it's just like, nah man, get off me. Seriously, just get off me. This is my uniform jacket. So ours is like navy blue. Oh yeah, this is my 5-star pin, guys, you know. So this is, you know, blazer fit, make your girl look so official. And yeah, so with my company, for the females, you're allowed to wear the tie or do the whole scarf. So I only have one tie because I thought this was the best to look on my skin tone. It's just like a yellow stripe one. So this is one of the scarves, and there's like different techniques. It looks good when the girls like tie it on the neck and it's all like fluffy and cool, but I don't like that. I tried that one flight and I just don't like the feeling. So I typically like to put it under the collar of my shirt. These are like 3 shirts bunched up, but anyways, I like to put on the collar of my shirt and either kind of like make like a little bow here. I put it off to the side, same way. I do something like that because I just don't like the feeling of it touching my skin, and not to mention like your makeup gets on it. We have the skirts, which is always cute, but for me it likes to ride up, where it's like, you put thing in the overhead bin, you're bending down, you also have to bring it down. So I personally like live in the jumper, which is like this basically, and it zips to the back, ties around the waist, and it's a v-neck, and it's so comfortable to me because your shirt tucks in real good. You don't have to worry about it riding up, bunching up. It has front pockets, so you can, put your little lip gloss or your pen in there, and I just feel like secure. You ever get that when you just feel like secure in an outfit? You don't have to be touching or doing anything. That's the jumper for me. There's like full-on like full dress pieces, but I haven't gotten one of those. I chose not to get those, but I can get it in my renewal or just purchase it. And then there's the pants that I've never worn, and I think I'm going to ever wear it. Probably not. Some of the girls I've seen who wear it looks good on them and all that, but for me it's just not flattering. And yes, it's high-waisted, but it's just not for your girl. So I live in the jumper. The skirt I tried, but that one is like not for long flights. No, I'd rather not. And the shirts, we have 3/4 length shirts and then long sleeves, sorry. And that's it on the uniform. The shoes. Right, so these are what you call your boarding shoes, which is basically your heel or wedge. Can't be nothing more than 3 inches. But so it's just like nothing that has any prints on it. Very casual. And you know, patent leather is good, but no print. So these are pretty comfortable. These were, but not quite. And then these are what you call your galley shoes. So basically nothing to them either. They just can't be like ballet flats or like Crocs or whatever, but they should be comfortable. They should be comfortable, and they can have like a tiny bit of a wedge on it. These, I've obviously had them for a minute, but they're so comfortable and I love them. Yeah, so basically these are just your standard shoes. Grayson. Alright, so I finally changed and got out of my PJs. I completely forgot about that. I apologize. So, oh yes, I forgot about the uniform, that they also supply us with an apron for when you are serving your services, so you don't have to worry about getting your uniform dirty, but not everyone wears it. And there's also a cardigan, because it gets so cold on the planes, you don't have to stay in your blazer. You just take off the blazer and wear it with the shirt. It's just like a little blue cardigan that matches the uniform. Alright, so we have the purse here. Nothing fancy, trust me on that, but it definitely holds a lot of things. And then we have the medium-sized bag, which is really good for the turnarounds. I basically can go and just use that and just pack it real good with some stuff. And then we have the bigger suitcase for the long haul flights. And as you can see, your girl designed an A with the stickers that were provided to kind of make it more distinguished when all of your flight members have the same bag, to know which one's yours. So these ones are really good and sturdy, and like they swivel. And of course, you know, it has the whole handle and all that. Do the same like swivel motion, go around and all that good stuff. And they're not too heavy, but when you have all 3 on that huge long mama flight that you're gonna do, trust me. I just threw on the jacket real quick with the scarf, and I just can't with the scarf like this. But then I just realized as I was looking in the mirror that I didn't even do my hair. I'm such a mess this video. It didn't look too bad, but I didn't even do it. But typically for work, yes, your girl would have did her hair. I would have probably had roller set the night before to have some kind of body wave curls in the front, slick down the sides, you know. Grayson, how do you like mommy being a flight attendant? Do you miss hers? Do you miss me when I go? You stay at home with daddy or with family? I know. So yes, this is how it is, mommy life, flight attendant life. It is possible, ladies, for those of you who are a flight attendant or who are thinking about doing it. Yes, we can, and yes, we all can. And speaking of, there's a lot of flight attendants who I work with, and a lot of them are mothers, and they have more than one kid, and they're like in school and doing the most, doing whatever, and it's possible. You just have to work out a good schedule for yourself. And I want to pull the blinds down. You just have to work out a good schedule for yourself and just work out something that works best for you. There's always a way. Alright, y'all, so we're going to sign off. So say bye, Grayson. Say bye, Gems.